2025 was absolutely stacked with RPGs. And no, it wasn't only Claire Obscure. But because one game sucked up all the oxygen, a ton of ridiculously good RPGs quietly slipped under the radar. Too many waifus, too little time. So today we're counting down the 17 best new RPGs you missed in 2025. Today's video is sponsored by ACERO. More about them in a bit. Let's get into it. Farm Sim fans, this feast is for you. Rune Factory Guardians of AZUMA drops you into a gorgeous Japanese-inspired setting, where you play as an earth dancer, basically a chosen hero who also plants turnips. You're fighting corruption, restoring gods, rebuilding villages, and somehow still finding time to flirt. Combat is fast and flashy with swords, bows, talismans, and perfect dodge slow-mo. And yes, you've got tons of romance options and a stacked cast you can recruit to fight by your side. If you want an RPG where you save the world, build a town, and romance half the cast, Rune Factory absolutely delivers. Next up, a dark fantasy RPG for fans of tactical battles, branching stories, and cheeky fanservice. Bloodcrawler drops you into a war-torn world where a secretive facility has created powerful soldiers. And now it's your mission to stop the carnage. You control Crow and a group of allies, exploring a sprawling map, engaging in turn-based combat, and unlocking new characters along the way. The game's combat revolves around strategic AP management, letting you chain attacks, plan moves carefully, and tackle increasingly dangerous foes. Exploration and branching storylines are a core focus, where every choice changes your journey. And the fanservice is off the freaking charts. Seriously, this game doesn't hold back. If you want a waifu RPG with tactical depth, a dark, war-focused story, and a heaping spoonful of skin, Bloodcrawler delivers everything you want and more. Atelier fans were eating good in 2025 with two full game releases. First was Atelier YUMIA, which was a real departure for the series, leaning more heavily into action combat and a focus on open world exploration. Gameplay has you freely exploring a massive open field, gathering materials, then weaving them into items through synthesis. But crafted items aren't just consumables, they transform into weapons mid-combat. And combat is real-time, mixing melee and ranged attacks, switching styles on the fly and making split-second decisions using your crafted swords, spears, and magical tools. Atelier YUMIA feels like the series evolving in a big way. So if you want a big action RPG where crafting is your superpower, this is one to check out. Atelier RESLERIANA is Atelier going back to its roots. This is the 27th mainline game, starring new leads Rias and Slade, returning to their ruined hometown. Alchemy is classic Atelier goodness, but with a new system called Gift Color Synthesis, where you literally connect ingredient colors to craft stronger items. Combat is also much more true to the series, with a fully strategic turn-based system using timeline command battles and a 6-person party. And the town development is back. RESLERIANA is super approachable for newcomers, but still loaded with fanservice for longtime Atelier fans, even if, yeah, the visuals and the maps can feel a little budget. For fans of the series, RESLERIANA is peak Atelier comfort food. Where are my Digimon fans at? Digimon Story Time Stranger is the big 2025 continuation of the Digimon Story series, building directly on the Cyber Sleuth Foundation. And yes, it's another the world is ending mystery, but this time with time travel and parallel worlds. Combat is classic Digimon goodness. You've got turn-based 3-on-3 battles with Digivolution as the core progression loop, and new systems like personalities, agent skills, and cross-art combo attacks. If you want a turn-based RPG with monster collecting, deep progression, and that classic humans and Digimon are spiritually bonded drama, you should no longer be a stranger to Digimon Story.
If you're dealing with something, we'll face it with you.
Crushing Souls-like combat meets Ming Dynasty horror in WUCHANG Fallen Feathers, a tough-as-nails action RPG where you play as Bai WUCHANG, a pirate warrior with amnesia, a cursed plague, and zero chill. Combat is precision-focused, with melee, spells, weapon skills, and a slick system called Skyborn Might that rewards smart aggression and perfect timing. Boss fights are punishing, violent, and freaking gorgeous. But the coolest twist is the inner demon mechanic. The more enemies you kill, the stronger you get, but you also become more vulnerable. Push it too far and you can literally unleash a demon that wants you dead. And somehow, it also has the best looking ladders in all of gaming. If you want a waifu-coated Souls-like with brutal combat, customizable beauty, and cursed Ming Dynasty vibes, WUCHANG is the one to suffer through immediately.
My Emperor will not fall in vain.
Where's my waifu crew? This one's for the Fairy Tail faithful. Eden Zero is an action RPG based on Hiro Mashima's space fantasy series, so expect big emotions and bigger hair. You play as Shiki and the crew blasting across planets, meeting allies and throwing hands with galaxy-level threats. Combat is combo-heavy and loaded with finishing attacks. Now, this isn't just a straight anime retelling. The game includes tons of exclusive quests and new story material written for the adaptation, expanding the lore even further. And customization is completely out of this world, with over 700 equipable items and cosmetic overrides so you can min-max your stats while still rocking the hottest threads. If you want an action RPG, loaded with anime spectacle, huge fanservice bounce, and a surprisingly chunky adventure, Eden Zero is a 2025 treat you've gotta taste. Next up is a game surprisingly no one talked about. CORIDDEN is an old-school hack-and-slash ARPG built entirely around shapeshifting. You fight brutal creatures, then equip their DNA and seamlessly morph into them mid-combat, changing up skills, abilities, and fighting styles. Combat is dodge-heavy, gear-dependent, and you're constantly swapping between forms to exploit different strengths. And there's even 4-player co-op with seamless drop-in, drop-out. You can literally ride on each other's backs into battle like some kind of shape-shifting cavalry unit. If you want a sleeper ARPG that feels fresh, chaotic, and ridiculously fun with friends, CORIDDEN understands the power of a good piggyback ride. Moving on to a game about mechanized anime schoolgirls fighting a corrupt megacorporation while all the carnage is live-streamed. In Full Metal Schoolgirl, your enemy is Maternal Jobs, the world's most evil company, along with their corporate zombie soldiers, the Working Dead.
Emergency! Emergency! Intruders have breached the entrance.
The whole game takes place in a 100-story skyscraper, where each floor reshuffles like a roguelike dungeon loaded with traps and security systems. As your chaos-fueled live audience donates more money, you can use it to fund your growing arsenal of destruction. There's over 100 customization elements, weapons, and enhancements letting you build your ultimate machine girl so you can climb even higher next time. The team behind this worked on Earth Defense Force, so you know it's going to be bananas. Check out my review if you want to see why Full Metal Schoolgirl absolutely rips.
Dragon escape! You can go home for the day. Firing missile!
Concubine is one of the most unapologetically sensual hack-and-slash ARPGs of the year, dropping you into a dark fantasy version of medieval Istanbul, which was Constantinople for all you history nerds. By day, you cosplay as one of the Sultan's harem, and by night, you're basically his private assassin, hunting cultists and mythological monsters throughout the land. Combat is real action RPG stuff. You've got a beefy arsenal of swords, daggers, maces, bows, spells, and even whips. But the real obsession here is customization. You can fully design your main character and up to 3 companions with ridiculously deep cosmetic detail. Face, body, outfits, armor sets, the works. And while you're at it, why not decorate the palace too? This game is rad as hell. Check out my review to see why this is one of the best RPGs you missed last year. Now let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor. ATELIER is a publishing brand focused on bringing high-quality Japanese adult games to global audiences. What makes them stand out is their strong localization push. They actively support multilingual releases across English, Japanese, traditional and simplified Chinese, and Korean, helping niche developers reach players worldwide. They publish across major platforms like Steam and DLSite, and partner with small developers to ensure games reach their target audience. They've got a bunch of upcoming titles tailored perfectly for this audience, including Love, Peace, and Roseleaf, Room 404 Erotic Massage, check out my video on that game, Sisters Connect, and Whispers of Goddess. For a company that just launched in 2025, they're off to the races. If you're into cultured, narrative-driven adult games, ATELIER is definitely a publisher to keep on your radar. Check them out to see what's coming next and show them some love for making videos like this possible. Now, back to it.
死に近づくほど命の重みを感じてるわ。それと同時に自分の本当の望みが見えてくるだけ。
If your gaming must-haves are big open worlds and ridiculously hot companions, do I have a game for you? Wuthering Waves is a story-rich action RPG where you play as Rover, waking up in a post-apocalyptic world shattered by something called the Lament. Movement freedom is off the charts, with wall running, parkour, flight, and more, but combat is the real star, leaning all the way in with stylish spectacle making you feel like an absolute badass. And of course, the cast is stacked, like really stacked. Wuthering Waves is cinematic, gorgeous, and ridiculously addictive once it clicks. This is the only free-to-play game on this list, but there's a reason I had to include it. Here's another sleeper that deserves way more attention. AI Limit is a post-apocalyptic Souls-like dripping with anime style and sci-fi despair. You play as Arissa, an immortal blader exploring the wreckage to uncover what's left of hope. Combat is pure Souls-like, but with some fresh twists. You've got huge weapon variety, mix and match skills, and a sync rate system that rewards aggressive offense and smart defense. Plus, your left-hand transformation mechanic lets you fire off spells, so there's that. Bosses are massive, weird, and brutal, with machines, beasts, and horrors that aren't here to play nice. Exploration is also awesome, with secret-packed level design, tons of relics, weapons, outfits, and enough atmosphere to drown in. AI Limit isn't perfect, the story can be thin, and the difficulty spikes can be thick. But if you want a stylish, combat-forward Souls-like with great level design and a waifu-coded immortal protagonist, this one hits way harder than people expected. Octopath Traveler 0 is basically Square saying, what if we took the mobile Octopath and made it a real game? This is a full premium reimagining of Champions of the Continent, removing the gacha and microtransactions and just giving you straight up HD 2D goodness. And for the first time in the series, you create your own protagonist, with a custom appearance, voice, starting skills, the whole deal. Combat is classic Octopath strategy, but with a few fresh touches. You can bring up to 8 characters in battle, with a new skill sharing system that lets allies pass abilities between each other. And instead of gacha pulls, you recruit over 30 characters through real questlines. I know, Octopath Traveler 0 is the version we deserve to begin with, and the one you should definitely check out. It's deep cut time! Phantom Brave Lost Hero is the long-awaited sequel to the cult classic from 2004. And Phantom Brave still has one of the coolest battle systems in the genre. You move freely within a circular radius, which makes positioning feel way more creative than standard SRPG chess. The signature mechanic is Confine, where you summon phantoms by possessing objects on the battlefield, like trees, rocks, and random junk, and their stats change depending on what they inhabit. And customization is insane, with over 50 unit types, tons of builds, and endless team tinkering. Phantom Brave is the SRPG that only the most diehard fans even heard about, but one that lovers of the genre need in their life. Roguelite fans, this one's pure Edo period style. YASHA Legends of the Demon Blade is an action RPG roguelite where you're carving through demons in a gorgeous hand-painted world. You're up against the nine-tailed fox, creating all sorts of chaos. So naturally, it's time for sword violence. Combat is fast, combo-heavy, and built around 3 playable characters. Levels are procedural, runs are quick, and you're constantly collecting parts to forge stronger weapons and upgrade your kit. And visually, this game's an absolute stunner, like fighting inside a moving ink painting. If you want a stylish, demon-slaying action RPG with clean combos and Edo fantasy flair, YASHA is an easy pick for the aesthetic alone. Lost Soul Aside is pure style-forward action, clearly leaning into its Devil May Cry and Final Fantasy inspirations. You play as Kaiser, slicing your way through dimensional invaders called the Void Racks, while trying to save your sister, and all of humanity. No big deal. Combat is the star. Fast, flashy, combo-heavy swordplay with parries, aerial juggling, and constant weapon switching that rewards aggression and rhythm. Visually, it punches way above its weight, with wild sci-fi environments, slick animations, and set pieces that feel shockingly polished for a game that started as a solo dev passion project. That said, the story and level design can feel uneven, some areas are more corridor than spectacle, and the narrative doesn't always keep up with the combat flash. But if you want a stylish single-player RPG with big ambitions, even if a bit too big, Lost Soul Aside is a 2025 gem you shouldn't set aside.
Humanity's sake, you must.
Last up, the 100-line Last Defense Academy. Basically, Danganronpa meets Fire Emblem meets
emotional damage.
It's a visual novel and tactical RPG from Tokyo Games. Yes, the team behind Danganronpa and Zero Escape, so you already know it's gonna get weird. There are 15 students trapped in an academy, and for 100 days, they have to defend it from monsters, or humanity is just over. You play as Takumi Sumino, leading the squad through a loop where you explore the school, bond with teammates, then jump into tactical SRPG battles with wild, unique skills. And the big selling point is your choices branch like no other game. Seriously, there are 100 distinct narrative-dense endings, all designed to feel like true endings. The 100 line is strange, insanely ambitious, and if you want to see everything, buckle up. It's genuinely amazing, and an experience you need to see to believe. Definitely a 2025 sleeper gem. Those are the 17 best RPGs you probably missed in 2025. And listen, this doesn't even count the metric ton of remakes and remasters that dropped too. So tell me, which one are you playing first, and what RPG did I miss? Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.